me?
Do I feel lucky? Well, do you, punk?
Good morning, Vietnam! I love the smell of napalm in the morning.
You're gonna need a bigger boat.
I feel the need for speed.
I wish I knew how to quit you.
Love means never having to say you're sorry.
You do. You'll shoot your eye out, kid.
What up, film fans? Happy Tuesday. Welcome to episode 376. Welcome to Wicked for Good. You're listening to another new episode of the Cine-Men Movie Podcast. I am one of your hosts, Juan, and I'm joined by the cast, the crew. Are you wicked, Zach?
You
are wicked.
I'm very wicked. How about you, man?
You know, it's been a good week. I can't complain. I've been able to take a deep breath and finally catch myself from
just relax a little bit.
Yeah, from slaving away so many hours that I picked up the last several weeks. But I think this week it's a holiday, you know, it's an American holiday, so I'm gonna take an American break from everything else. So
there you go.
Everybody on podcast land, thank you for joining us for another new episode. If you're watching us on Facebook Live or Imisawa Productions YouTube channel, gracias. Thank you. Welcome to another episode. I'm excited to talk about this movie. I'm excited to talk to you about movies. I'm excited just in general for this episode. It feels, for some reason, we did Dallas Buyers Club last week. It feels like it's been forever, Zach, since we talked about a movie.
Yeah, it has, and we did have a phenomenal conversation. Light, and we were both in the dark. We were both in the light for that conversation, and
just like Ron was in that movie.
There you go. But no, in all seriousness, no, we had a very impactful conversation about Dallas Buyers Club, Matthew McConaughey's Oscar-winning performance, and I don't know about you, man. Next week, it's the series finale for Matthew McConaughey. What do you think about that?
It is. We'll talk about that a little bit later on next week, or a little bit later on today in the episode. I can't wait to even give you guys just a taste of what next week is going to be like. But today is a very impactful episode, and it's also a very impactful week. So, yeah, I mean, we're going to get into a little bit later on with the top 5. If you do not know how to listen to us, it's very easy. We are everywhere. Go to our social medias, facebook.com/the Cine-Men Movie Podcast. Instagram is all one word, /Cine-Men Movie Podcast. X, formerly known as Twitter, is Cine-Men405. Or you can send us an old-fashioned email at cinemen921@gmail.com. Zach, we're going to be having some giveaways again this week on the social media. Black Friday has hit early, and so you know what that means for me.
You'll be in debt for the next year. Yeah, I get it.
Well, not only that, but guess what, guys? With physical media buying, that means there are some digital copies that we can be giving away. So some digital copies will be getting posted up all throughout the week for the week of Thanksgiving. Zach, how crazy is it? That Thanksgiving is the day after tomorrow.
Dude,
it's literally a Jake Gyllenhaal movie.
It is. It really is. And even more crazier than that is 3 weeks from now, then it's Christmas.
Yeah.
All right.
Zach, it's been a minute since we talked recent watches, but go ahead. Do you have anything that you want to recommend and that you want to maybe possibly throw out as an episode, or recommend anything to the listeners?
Yeah, so I got a couple things. Did I already talk about Predator Badlands? I think I did, didn't I?
Yeah.
Okay. Finally finished Stranger Things. The season 5 premieres tomorrow night. Can't wait. First 4 episodes drop on Netflix at 7:00 tomorrow night. So went to the movies a couple times. Went and saw Christy, the Sydney Sweeney Ben Foster boxing movie. Pretty good. You know, it's a biopic boxer film, so you know how that's going to go. Die My Love. The other film is Die My Love with Jennifer Lawrence and Robert Pattinson. I'll just say, if you ever get a chance to watch that, I'm extremely curious about what you think about it. I personally did not like the movie, but I enjoyed Jennifer Lawrence's performance. It's so unhinged that it's quite enjoyable to watch. The Running Man, the new Edgar Wright film with Glenn Powell. So I've never seen the actual Arnold Running Man, so
The original is always better.
Yeah, maybe. I enjoyed this one. I just felt like the last hour of it kind of just fell off the map. Nuremberg, the Russell Crowe, Rami Malek World War II movie about the Nuremberg trials is phenomenal. It's 2.5 hours, almost, yeah. So, make some space on the calendar. And went and saw Wicked for Good. And I kind of did a little deep dive on the Wizard of Oz. I'm gonna watch the original classic one tonight. But a lot of people may or may not know that there was one that came out 100 years ago this year. It was a silent black and white version. It's like an hour and 10 minutes. It's nothing like the novel that it's based off of or the Judy Garland movie. It came out like 15 years before that film, so it's just interesting to see silent adaptations of like big books or whatever, and it's just it's you can, if you're curious, you can rent it on Apple TV for like $3, but I wouldn't recommend it. Just go watch the classic or go see Wicked, and then go see Wicked for Good. Enjoy us for our conversation. So yeah, if it's anywhere in the theater still to this point, go check out Nuremberg. It's a very old school historical epic. So what about you?
Man, I checked out Bring Her Back for I promise, one day episode of Friday the 14th podcast.
I need to rewatch that.
I rewatched Wicked. I rewatched Planes, Trains, and Automobiles for that. It's that week. I also watched Funny People because it's that Thanksgiving weekend. Who also doesn't just want to watch an Adam Sandler movie? I checked out, obviously, Wicked for Good for this episode. I checked out this. I'm a huge wrestling nerd, so I checked out this documentary on Amazon Prime called Nevermore: The Raven Effect. It's about a professional wrestler, tributes and trilations, or however you want to discuss it. It was okay. It's pretty good. Kind of a short week as far as watching things.
Mm-hmm.
And then I checked out, because everybody and their mom and underneath the sun is going to be talking about it. Zach has been talking about it. I checked out Stranger Things season 1, episode 1 and 2.
Okay.
Dude, I'm having a hard time investing myself into it.
Yeah, I mean, I'll admit that the first season on the rewatch is kind of like, oh, okay. I don't remember it being this slow, but I mean, it does. Does pick up.
I'm a brand new watcher. So
wait, you've never seen it before?
I've only seen half of season 1.
Oh wow, okay.
Yeah. Should I, if I'm having this much hard time with episode 1 and 2, should I continue to go, or what's going on?
So as a fan of the show, I would say keep going, because it really does. It really gets really good, honestly. I mean, season 2, we get a bunch of new characters. I think it suffers a little bit from sequelitis a little bit, but season 3 is great and season 4 is even better. And it really sets up for this last season. So, I mean, I'd say try and push through it, but at this point, like, obviously you're not going to see everything before the show starts tomorrow, but
Right.
part of me is like, I don't know, just wait till the series is done and then kind of maybe do a binge of it.
My plan was to binge whatever I can, because the last episode is actually considered a movie, and it comes out in December.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I'm like, if I want to watch a nice, cool 80s alien movie, can I watch like Super 8?
That or E.T. or
I don't know. I probably just pissed off half the listeners. But
no,
because it's trending and because everybody and their mother wants to talk about it, and you're you and you like it, I think I might try to just continue to watch it. So,
well, since you're you, I guess I need to retry the Sopranos for the 18th time.
Yes. And you know what? Just like me, I got started on The Wicked, Oz the Great and Powerful, and then my 2 different copies of The Wizard of Oz. So
Nice.
I'm going down the yellow brick road with you. I'm excited to talk about it and everything Wicked. But Zach, it is Thanksgiving, and we do have a traditional top 5 Thanksgiving hack that we're going to talk about. So buckle up, sit down, and we're getting ready to rapid fire through some of our top 5 favorite Thanksgiving must-have items to make the holiday feel holiday. All right, I'm going to rapid fire through mine real quick. Zach, if you have anything you want to add to it, go for it. Number 5 for me is going to be an ice cold Coke Zero. I need soda. I need some kind of crisp, zero sugar beverage
Drink.
to get everything washed down. Number 4, my sister's green bean casserole. I've tried everybody's under the sun. Nobody does green bean casserole like my sister, so that's number 4. Number 3 is going to be a ham. I don't care if it's a great value pieces of sliced ham, or if it's the big old honey baked ham. You got to have some kind of pork and some kind of honey glazed ham with your meal.
Okay.
Number that was number 3, right?
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah. Number 2, I'm gonna say you need gravy. It doesn't matter if the gravy soaks up the
bread.
the turkey, the bread. You could have like a Ross Thanksgiving Day sandwich.
Yeah. And get
What did
excessively
he-
pissed off if someone eats it.
What did he call that? Do you remember?
All right, don't. I know what you're talking about, but I don't know the name of it.
And then
moist-
number
I think it was called the Moist Machine, wasn't it? Isn't that what it's called?
Yeah, the moist. Yeah. And then number 1, whether they win or lose, I gotta have the Dallas Cowboys on TV.
Yep.
So
Which they will be going against the Chiefs on Thanksgiving Day. Which at this point, if you guys win, I will not be upset because we've had a pretty bad year.
yeah, so I need them to win, Zach. So you need to become a mini Dallas Cowboy fan on Thursday.
Right.
So yeah, they need to win. But that's what I need to have on Thanksgiving Day to make my holiday feel as breast. I'm sorry. I'm thinking about turkeys. I'm thinking about the turkey breast. I need those 5 items to make my holiday feel festive. Is what I was going to say.
In the psychology world, we call that a Freudian slip. So, ladies and gentlemen, Johnny might be thinking about other things, but anyway.
So,
are you ready to go down the Yellow Brick Road?
I am ready. I've been ready since I finished the movie, not once but twice. So, let's talk about it. Right now, we are talking about Wicked for Good. We are at 13 minutes and 55 seconds. If you have not gone and seen the movie, go see it. If you haven't seen the play, if you haven't seen the book, then you know what? I'm not spoiling anything for you. If you've already read the book, then you're going to just listen to the episode. Hopefully, our conversation gets you to want to go see the movie. Right now, IMDb has this at a 7.2. Rotten Tomatoes at 70%. The Metascore is at 59%. The Letterboxd is at a 3.8 out of 5 with a release date of November 20th, 2025. The budget was $150 million, and so far on opening weekend, it made $227 million at the box office. So go check it out. Starring, if I can just get everything. Starring Cynthia Erivo, Ariana Grande, Jeff Goldblum, Michelle Yeoh, Jonathan Bailey, Ethan Slater, Coleman Domingo, Marissa Bode. Directed by John M. Chu. And Alphaba, the future Wicked Witch of the West, and her relationship with Glinda, the Good Witch of the North, the second of a 2-part film adaptation of the Broadway musical Wicked. Zach, have you seen this just once? Did you see it twice? Did you see it 3 times? and you don't have to explain the whole thing yet, but as soon as the movie was over, what was your final thought?
Yeah, saw it in IMAX Friday night with a coworker, and actually one of my other coworkers saw it. Was in the crowd with us as well. Um, liked it. Has some problems with it, but we'll get into it. What about you?
Fantastic.
Okay, fantastic. Okay,
Yeah.
so I'm going to be the hater of this episode.
No. I don't think necessarily hater. I definitely did watch. So I watched it the one time. I watched Wicked on Friday night, and then I went and saw Wicked for good Saturday. And I gotta tell you, this does terrific as a two-parter. I know some theaters were showing back-to-back screenings. I think this is a very, very good, something that I can sit and watch all 5.5, 6 hours of. Take maybe like a 15, 20-minute break in between the two films. But I love how it just automatically picks up. And I think it's a fun conclusion to Wicked, to last year's blockbuster epic of a film. I think this is exactly what the theater business needed around this time of year. Because I know some holiday movies and some holidays have not flourished like they have in the past. But I think Wicked Part 2 does, at least for me, I think it did a fantastic job of picking up where the first one ended, and the story and the chemistry between Alphaba and Glenda, aka Ariana Grande and Cynthia Erivo. I think they both get nominated again for their respectful counterparts like they did last year at the Oscars. I think this movie not only is going to get nominated for 10, 11 more Oscars like it did last year, but something inside me, man, just tells me this movie is going to win Best Picture.
Really? Do you think it's going to outdo Sinners? You think it's going to outdo Sinners in one battle after another?
I think this is going to be a very, 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 very cool. I haven't seen One Battle After Another, but I know that's the leading movie right now. But I think this movie sneaks into the top two. And I don't know if it's like the Heisman where you see who is a close second, but I think this movie gets very, very close second as far as any kind of Oscar nod, because it's just it's just a perfect epic of an ending. And I think this is what Hollywood needs this at this particular time. And I think Avatar 2 in a few weeks or 3 is just gonna blow that out of the water too.
Okay, so just to preface, I don't hate this movie. Okay, I like it. I don't know. I would say my biggest nitpick or problem with the movie is that it just, in my opinion, the spark that made the first part so enchanting and magical, for less of a couple words, I felt like that was missing in this one, and I don't know what that is.
I think I'm the opposite with how perfect the first movie was as far as that epic feeling and enchantment. I think this one blows that out of the water. I don't think the songs are as catchy in this movie as they are the first one, with obvious reasons. But I think this one is just so. I'm not a fan of Wicked, the book or the Broadway play. Never seen it before in my life.
Yeah.
So I didn't know where anything was coming. Everything was coming from left field. Right. I didn't know the ending. I didn't know character development, any of that. Yeah. So as a film fan, as a movie goer, I was obsessed from beginning to end, knowing how, trying to find out how this movie is going to end. The only thing I knew was Wizard of Oz. So I'm sitting there and I'm like, well, how does she become more evil? Oh, the sister Nessa, she's going to die. The house falls on her. Scene by scene, I enjoyed the evolution of each character, the character development, rethinking about what happened to everybody in the first movie, how evil Michelle Yeoh's character is. So all this was like brand new to me. And I believe there's only 2 new songs that are in this movie that has never been heard of before, and one of them is No Place Like Home, which I thought was phenomenal.
Yeah.
So I
Man.
loved it. I loved it, dude.
So this is I can't say this is my highest to lowest because I don't think my dislike for the movie matches yours on that film.
You're still
But-
going to give this a good grade. I gave highest to lowest a 1.5.
Yeah, that's shocking for a Denzel movie. So yeah, no, okay. So okay,
So-
let me do the positives first. Okay, so I agree with you. The twists and turns to what they do to the mythology of Oz. That what we know. I haven't seen the Broadway play. I haven't read the book. I got it right here. So, my only knowledge going into this was the Wizard of Oz. And as the movie goes on, and again, we're at 21 minutes. So if you haven't seen the movie, go stop it and go check it out. Who is the Tin Man? Who is the Scarecrow? How I thought it was a cool, like, I didn't realize that Nessa was going to be the Wicked Witch of the East that has the house fall on her. How does Dorothy get to Oz? And a big thing that I really enjoyed which I was not expecting, was the twist ending of Jeff Goldblum being the dad of Elphaba, and that she lives at the end of the story. I thought that was a really cool, like, tight. It's bittersweet that they won't ever see each other, but they both go on their respective journeys, if that makes sense.
The ending of Fast 7.
Yes. They both drive in different directions.
They're both Universal movies.
No,
I'm just saying.
Let's get this off the ground, man.
Wicked's Too Fast, Too Furious.
Fast 11, Wicked. There you go. You
can have any broom in the house.
Family. We got to put some Nas on that broomstick, bro. I thought the performances were still great. I do think that Cynthia Erivo kind of took a backseat to Ariana Grande in this film. I thought her performance was much more emotionally driven than it was in the first film. The For Good, basically the defying gravity of this movie, I thought was phenomenal. Like I said, the Wicked was in my top 10 of the year last year. I don't think this is going to make it, honestly. I don't know what the spark is. You have the same creator, you have the same director, same cast, same creators behind the film. I don't think the songs are as memorable as the first one, like you said. And in my opinion,
well, it's also because though we didn't grow up, or we're not consumed with the Broadway play, so we didn't hear those songs continuously.
I mean, that's true.
All the singles, if you will, came from the first part, and then we technically only heard those songs so many times because a lot of those songs were nominated for Oscars. They were just real catchy throughout the part of last year.
Yeah.
So I think that's why the songs weren't as memorable for me. But I think as I go on, as I watch it a few more times, as some songs are nominated for Oscars, they're going to become catchy. You got to remember, you saw this movie last year in theaters, but it wasn't until March or April that we talked about the first Wicked.
Yeah, February. Yeah, because then we did our top 10 of the year. I really think that. So at the end of the first movie, you have this very epic climactic ending with Cynthia Erivo doing Defying Gravity, and she hits the high note and she flies off into the distance, and it says to be continued, and it sets you up for something incredible. While I enjoy the mythology, like I said, you open up this movie with the the construction of the Yellow Brick Road,
which was, as a fan, so I didn't go into Wicked Part 2 keeping the Wizard of Oz in sight. I'm like, this is its own thing. I'm not going to worry about Dorothy. I'm not going to worry about any of that mythology of Oz. This is its own baby.
And
So
which I did this. I haven't I did not. So just to preface, I didn't rewatch Wicked. I didn't rewatch the Wizard. I just went in wanting it to be its own thing, if that makes sense. I didn't want any other things like hinging on it.
I did the same thing, but I wanted it. I went in right watching Wicked and wanting it to be the best sequel possible. So Wicked, I think I gave it like a 4.5.
Mm-hmm.
The movie, this part 2, opening up with the construction of the Yellow Brick Road and her showing up and the monkeys after her, visually, I thought was stunning.
Mm-hmm.
On the big screen, I'm like, okay, she is that character.
Yeah.
I didn't think about anything about Oz. So when the stories and the character development start happening, and you start finding out about, you start finding out about Oz, excuse me, and the sister.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't take any of that lightly, and none of it bothered me. So, like, one of the big things right off the bat was Bach and Nessa's relationship.
Yeah.
Which to me wasn't a big deal.
Mm-hmm.
And when she started getting a little bit wicked, I was like, oh, is this going to turn into their story? Which I'm glad this movie wasn't 3 hours. I'm glad this movie wasn't 3 hours and 15 minutes. I'm glad the timing was perfect to me.
Mm-hmm.
So,
I don't know if I wanted my Tin Man to go all Terrifier though. I don't know about that.
You know what though? I'm also like the title being Wicked for Good. What's to say that wasn't necessarily even Wicked being Alphaba? What if I mean her sister?
Her sister put the curse on him though.
Yeah, her sister ended up being wicked for good until the house fell on her.
Yeah,
And at the end of the day, the story and history tells us that we want to, Alphaba is going to be the villain, the witch. But this story just does so good as far as setting her up to be, no, she is just somebody misunderstood.
Yeah, which
you didn't like the love relationship between her and one of the her and the Fury of
Jonathan Bailey's character. No, I honestly didn't have a problem with that. I it's not even okay. The movie, I don't even know how to describe it, because it's like walking out of the movie, I was like, yeah, that was good, but it wasn't great. Like walking out of the first Wicked, I was like, that was great. Like there's a reason why it got like 11 nominations or whatever. I get that. This, like you say, this one, you think that it's going to go even farther. I don't think so, man. I think it'll pick up maybe like it'll probably pick up Best Picture. I mean, it'll get a nomination for Best Picture, the 2 leads, maybe even director, the costume design and stuff like that. But I think that's about it. There's just nothing.
I think it'll get set design again. It'll get,
it'll get the things that got last. I mean, it'll get the things that got nominated for last year. But in terms of like,
what makes you feel like it just, what was, if you could put your finger on, because you say something is missing.
I think, and I explained this to a coworker today, and I think I if I can remember exactly what I said, it makes sense. So even though this is a Wizard of Oz story, even though this is set in the world of Oz, we know Oz. Whether it be the Wizard of the classic 39 version, the James Franco version, the Wiz with Michael Jackson, or even if you've read the book or whatever, there was something in that first movie to make Oz feel magical again. And it was like something we had never seen before, if that makes sense. And in this one, I felt like it was treading the same beats. And it was just like, okay, we've seen that.
Well, what else, after all those movies you named, and even seeing some of the mystical, magical stuff that was in the first part, what else do you think that you needed to see to explore more versions of Oz? I mean,
don't I don't know.
the
I mean,
you saw the construction of the Yellow Brick Road. You saw a more in-depth layer of the wizard's castle, Emerald City. You saw the witch's hideout space where she gets into eventually melted.
mhm.
Uh,
So I think that was
you,
another
you
thing. I feel like we just didn't need the inclusion of Dorothy. I understand she's not a main character. She's not even a character technically in this movie, but it was just the editing was so weird where like, okay, like I get this reminds me of if you remember like the Bourne Ultimatum, how like or the Jeremy Renner movie, The Bourne Legacy, where it was like intertwined with the Bourne Ultimatum. This is what this is. This is Wicked, and it's intertwined with the events of the Wizard of Oz. So it's so it's polarizing,
it's fan fiction at its best. That's what the Wicked book was about.
right? But it's just so out of left field where we're with Glinda or Elphaba, and then we cut to Dorothy on her way going down the Yellow Brick Road, and then we go back to their story, and then we cut back to Glinda and the crew. I mean, not Glinda, Dorothy and the crew at the wizard saying, "Bring me the bring me the broom of the Wicked Witch."
Well, it's no different than, let's say, maybe Avengers Endgame, when you have those side stories and you have some pieces of the first Avengers movie. You get to see what, maybe in a different timeline, maybe that they're doing.
Mm-hmm.
And in this, that's why I kind of felt like, oh, okay, this isn't about Dorothy, but you see Dorothy on her adventure. And then I think everything is just setting up. Even if it's a 2-minute scene of Dorothy wandering the Yellow Brick Road, you get to see why Elphaba, she's not completely wicked, but you get to see why she may be a little heated, her sister's shoes getting given away.
Yeah.
And I agree. You could probably cut this movie down from 220 to maybe 150 or 2 hours exactly, and cut Dorothy completely out of it. But I think it's one of those, let's have a Tom Brady side story. You can't go on a mission and see him lose the Super Bowl without maybe seeing the back of Tom Brady's jersey.
All
You know
right.
what I mean?
Yeah. I just think that in my head, if you see, like I'm already contradicting myself because like I want to say like if you're gonna do the Dorothy thing, just go for it and just show her. But at the same time, it's not that story. This is Elphaba.
Yeah.
It's Glinda and Elphaba's story.
It's not Dorothy's story, but it's good to know that character is just in the building, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
So,
like I said, I feel like I'm bashing on this movie, and I'm really not. I don't know how to articulate what I'm trying to say because I just in my note first thing I say is missing spark from the part one. There's just something missing from this movie that I just felt was lacking that the first film had so well.
So let me ask you this: going into the first part of Wicked, did you know most of the songs?
No.
Was the no?
No, I've never seen the Broadway play. I never seen the Broadway play. I didn't listen to the soundtrack beforehand. I just went in going blind. I think we talked about, yeah, we did. We talked about the Wizard of Oz finally when the week Wicked came out.
Yeah.
And so that was my only reference. And then I just went in and just had an awesome experience.
So I think usually musicals go one of two ways for me. I either really like the movie, but not the musical scenes, or I really dig the music, but the scenes without the music, I'm kind of like, eh.
Yeah.
What about you?
I think to be a good musical, like The Sound of Music or La La Land or the first Wicked, I think you have to have an equal balance of the two. You have to have great songs mixed in with great acting. That's just acting. There's no like musical performance in them. And I think those two have to go together in order to have a great musical.
Excuse me. We're at that great part.
He's just pissed that it's not on him.
No. We're at that great part of Oklahoma City where we have spring in the afternoon time and winter at night, so everybody's allergies are crazy. But what I was gonna say, if there's one thing I could kind of not agree with this film about, again, not a book fan, didn't read the book, not a Broadway play seer, it would be still the whole animal talking Madame Morble,
animal
the Ma-
rights thing, yeah.
the Madame Morble, the Oz. In every movie, and Jeff Goldblum almost says it in this movie. He's like, "I'm a very good man. I'm just a very, very bad wizard."
Mm-hmm.
He almost says it in this movie. So this movie, now I'm contradicting myself. I don't like how it puts the wizard in that kind of limelight, but almost any Wizard of Oz story you've seen, even back in 1939, the wizard is kind of a joke anyway.
Yeah. Even that
So-
1925 version I just talked about in recent watches, it's the same thing. He's just a scammer or whatever.
So, and which makes sense if you really want to dig deep into the mythology of Oz, you need somebody who is casting the spells and doing the whole ha-ha, which is perfect of Michelle Yeoh's character of Madame Morrible, because she is the magic.
She's literally pulling the strings.
Yeah, so she's the magic behind the wizard.
In the I haven't seen this in forever, but you said you rewatched the Franco one, Oz the Great and Powerful?
I am, but I watched it last year before we talked about Wizard of Oz.
Do you remember, was the Michelle Williams character, is that the Glinda in that version? I know Mila Kunis turns into the Wicked Witch.
Yeah, those two sisters become the two witches. So, but see, that wizard is actually a good wizard. He is doing what was right by Oz and by the Munchkins. Which I will say, the way the Munchkins were treated in this movie is good, because it makes sense on why they stayed in Munchkin Land and why they weren't really welcomed in Oz. So all that started clicking, and it made good sense. And I'm like, oh, this is also how Nessa becomes the Wicked Witch of the East.
Yeah.
I don't know, man. I kind of dug everything, and this movie went by really quick for me. I think I only checked my phone once in the theater, and it was because somebody brought their baby
And
into the movie.
Well, we had a 5-year-old that wouldn't sit down in front of us, so if that makes you feel any better.
I almost brought my 4-year-old, but I'm like, no, I'm not going to do that to people.
Did your daughter like it?
I didn't get to take her, man. Unfortunately, certain
situations,
certain biological situations happened, and of course, anytime I want to take her to go see a movie, but that's another issue for another Jerry Springer show. But let's talk about Furio and Jonathan Bailey and him being the Scarecrow. Let's talk about these characters that ended up intertwining with the original classic. What did you think of his situation, his story? I thought the way they did it was very Pearl-like, but you haven't seen that movie, so you don't get the reference. So,
I appreciated that. It literally took me to like the final scene where like he comes back to rescue Elphaba. Like, oh, he is the Scarecrow that went on the journey with Dorothy. That's my understanding of it.
Correct.
Okay, yeah. So okay. I mean, yeah, I didn't have a problem with it. I was just like, okay, that's a good twist, because like, I think even in the trailer, it really gave the idea of like he is not going to end up with Ariana's Glinda, like something in between, like something clearly pulls him apart from her to go after Elphaba. And it's written really well, it's acted really well, so you buy it. It doesn't. I think there are some people that say like, why is he the Scarecrow? I mean, like in that, it makes sense as to why.
They have their reasonings and they have their their okays, especially the diehard Wizard of Oz fans. But again, you have to realize, look at this, that this is a fan fiction made up story. And going all the way back to 1939, I'm sure when we were kids watching this, we want to be like, oh, how did the Scarecrow become the Scarecrow?
Yeah.
So just to have that mythology behind it, I thought was kind of cool. I got to be honest with you, I do not like Jonathan Bailey. I don't like him as an actor. I don't think he was a good Furio in the first movie. I don't like him in this one. He just
Did
wasn't believable to me.
Did you like him in Jurassic World earlier this year?
Gross.
Gross. Oh, okay.
So
So he's the new person that he's kind of like the new Glenn Powell. Like everyone's talking about him. He's everywhere.
I'm not talking about him.
No. See, like I think his performance was better in the first film than it was in this one. In my opinion. Because like you come in, you get introduced to him, he's kind of like this like jockey douche type character. But then you realize that he actually has a heart. See what I did there?
Yeah.
And like you kind of get why he kind of turns for Elphaba by the end of this movie, essentially.
And then speaking of somebody who doesn't have any brains, Ethan Slater. About did you find out about the whole scandalous thing? Well, he's a married man, and he was kind of having like an affair with Ariana Grande.
Oh, good Lord.
Yeah. But Bach was not a fan of Bach in this movie or the first one either. I thought his storytelling of becoming the Tin Man was pretty good. This is where I had an issue with the film just a little bit because I was thinking I let The Wizard of Oz slip into my mind, and I'm like, wait a minute, how is this the Tin Man? The Tin Man supposedly had been sitting there for hundreds of years.
Yeah.
And then I was like, wait a minute, I can't think like that, or I'm going to hate the movie. That's exactly what I started thinking.
If you start thinking about the 1939 mythology, it's like, no, this doesn't line up. So you have to accept it as what this is.
And then the person on side me was also saying, wait a minute, her shoes aren't ruby red.
Yeah.
But then I was like, maybe this is like the dress a few years ago. It's blue, but it's really gold, or it's white.
Yeah, maybe.
But I'm like, again, I can't let that sink into me because then I'm going to hate the movie. So I'm like, I'm not thinking about that. If you think about it, I think you're going to not like the movie, even the first Wicked. And I think that's where maybe a lot of movie fans, because this movie's not getting as much of a
praise as
good praise as the first one. And I think maybe that's why the first one is its own prequel story to the Wizard of Oz that you love, and you're just like, oh, cool, you can watch that, and then maybe go straight into the Wicked of Oz, or the Wicked of Oz. That's good. The Wizard of Oz. So the Wicked is kind of tugging. Part two is kind of tugging with your mythology of the original classic, and I'm like, maybe that's why some people have issues with it.
Well, I mean, I think the audience, according to Rotten Tomatoes right now, the audience is pretty much the same on both films. Like critically, Wicked it has an 88%, and then right now, Wicked for Good has a 69%. So I think people really, I'm not going to say that the word I'm not trying to use is fooled by it, but I think it was just like, I think they walked out of For Good and be like, oh, okay. Like it was almost like you have like a really good sequel. Like a lot of people think that The Dark Knight is a perfect movie, and then we get The Dark Knight Rises, and people are just like, okay, like they didn't have that high that they came out of with The Dark Knight.
But I think that's also sequel talk. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
How many sequels do not live up to the original?
Well, and I think what people have to understand, and you said it, and I think I've said it, is that I know you said it for sure. This is technically one movie. It's just it's like Harry Potter and the Deathly Hallows. It's one whole movie. It's just split up into two parts, essentially.
Yeah.
I will agree. I mean, while I didn't really like the opening of this film, I mean, it does flow well. Like I said, you just end on that miraculous high of the last one, and then you go into the construction of the Yellow Brick Road, which is a cool sequence. Don't get me wrong. Elphaba swoops in and starts freeing the animals, but it's just like, okay.
I was upset that there was no talking trees throwing apples.
Smoking cigars on the side.
But you know what? Jonathan Bailey's character, Fiero, had a pistol.
It did.
And it makes sense. Now I'm like, okay, now that's why Scarecrow had a pistol in The Wizard of Oz.
Yep. That is true.
People, because, for the longest time, people were like, oh, he's got a gat. Dude's got a piece. And now you're like, that's why he had it, because he was Furio.
The whole time. We just had to wait damn near 80 years to get that answer.
Now, there's some fun fan theories out there that the reason the Wicked Witch threw the fireball at Scarecrow because she had the hots for him. I was like, oh, that's kind of funny.
Well, it makes sense with this movie.
Yeah.
So
they went on their own trip looking for Oz.
So, you got anything else that you want to talk about?
No Place Like Home song.
Yeah, I will say, outside of the For Good sequence, I think that was probably the best one, in my opinion.
This did feel more like an Ariana Grande performance step up.
So, I'm glad that just popped in my brain. And I think it really shows, because you could probably attest to it because you watched the first one before seeing this one. I think part one is very much Elphaba's story. And then part two, it transitions and it's Glinda's story. And it kind of ties up everything by the end of the film.
You know what though, man? I do have to sit here and praise. I do have to sit here and praise, like, how awesome is it that here we are almost 100 years or over 100 years later, and we're still sitting here talking about the Wicked Witch, Glinda, Dorothy, like movie-made characters from over 100 years ago or around that time, and here we are as just film fans getting to see this story on the big screen.
It's something that whether you go back to the 1939 version, or even if you go back all the way to the very beginning to the L. Frank Baum original novel, which, dude, that book came out 125 years ago, and we're still talking about this. It may be a different version of it, but what does that say?
But it even made me think about what we're doing as film fans today. In a 3-week span, dude, we were talking about Frankenstein and now Oz.
Yeah. And I really want to come on here like Frankenstein and just be like, oh my God, it was amazing. I got to be honest, I just didn't have that experience.
I think this movie for most is going to be like a fine glass of wine. I think the more watches you get, you're going to appreciate it eventually. Yeah. But I think I got to be just graceful, and I've got to be thankful with this week of thankfulness. I got to be thankful that it's just, here we are as movie fans, and we have the biggest box office opening of the year, and it came in the month of November, and it's about characters that we've loved for so many decades as kids, great-grandkids, great-grandmothers and fathers, and I think that's something that should be said while we're talking about this movie in this episode.
Yeah, I mean, I totally agree. I mean, the fact that we're in here talking about it, my mom is sitting in the living room right now. You got to remember, she came from a time where it was a yearly tradition to watch The Wizard of Oz on TV. Like, that was an event, like
around
Super Bowl. Yeah. And if you miss, it's not like today where I can go on HBO Max and stream it or whatever. If you missed it back in the 60s, you got to wait a whole another year to rewatch it. And I think that's something that,
unless you wanted to pay $80 for the VHS,
that or the Laserdisc back in the late 90s. I think The Wizard of Oz is really considered the most watched film ever made.
And let's not forget Vegas has done with The Wizard of Oz this year.
Yeah, it was at the Sphere, which, my God, could you imagine seeing that?
It was given another $100 million budget to reimagine it for the Sphere.
Yeah.
And then with how much money it's made, it's $1 billion movie this year.
Yeah.
I believe it's reached $1 billion from a movie that came out in 1939, which is unbelievable to think about.
Yeah. Let me look this up real quick.
So sitting here just thinking about these characters and this story, and I think I personally dug it. It made me want to appreciate watching Wicked for Good on a big screen.
Mm-hmm.
So, and not to mention what Peacock and what NBC has done with Wicked, One Wonderful Night. Did you go back and watch that?
No, I know it's on Peacock. I didn't get a chance to watch. I didn't get a chance to watch it. Did you like it?
Fantastic, man. I thought it was fun. It was the cast singing all the first movie songs. So this is another good thing. Say you don't want to watch 3 hours of Wicked before you go see the second one. I would watch one Wonderful Night before you go see Wicked Part 2, and I think you'd be caught up.
Yeah, I will say that these two films. I don't know about you. I don't think you would pay to go see this. Go do this, but I think these two movies really, like, if Wicked ever came to the Civic Center again, I'd go see it just to see the Broadway version of it.
Yeah, same.
So,
can we also, before we get out of here and talk about favorite scenes, can we give some flowers to Jeff Goldblum?
Jeff Goldblum, that man.
The dude is almost 70 years old, and not only did he play an outstanding wizard, but everything he does, it's like, I gotta see it. Jeff Goldblum is just a fantastic character, a fantastic actor, and it's like, man, he just looks like somebody who enjoyed doing every single thing that he did.
I mean, think about it, man. The Fly, Jurassic Park, Independence Day, Thor Ragnarok, and now the Wicked movies. I mean, my God, like how many franchises does one man need?
Speaking of franchises, what do you think about Universal saying, you know what, there's money left to be on the table. We have to make a Glinda prequel or a Glinda backstory movie, or they're thinking about continuing the story and making a third part. What do you think about that?
It doesn't surprise me. I mean, dude, with the combination of the first film, which made like almost $800 million, plus this weekend's release, it's basically $1 billion film or franchise at this point. So I don't really know if, I mean, I don't know what else you could do with the Glinda prequel, considering we got 2 whole movies about it. But yeah, it wouldn't surprise me at all that we get a third Wicked or a spin-off or something in the next couple of years.
Yeah. Favorite scene?
Dude, my favorite scene is like after we get quote unquote introduced to Dorothy, and it's the Glinda and Elphaba. I call it the duel scene, and they're kind of mocking each other, and Ariana Grande does the mocking of the Wicked Witch laugh. That got like big laughs out of my theater, and that was like that. I think that cemented the charisma and the chemistry between these two actresses through the entire story of the entire 2 films of this story. Yeah, that scene was great. And then I think to pick a musical number, I think the For Good sequence at the end is phenomenally well done. So yeah, I think those are probably my 2 favorite scenes. What about you?
I would probably say there's some scenes that kind of really got me. I liked seeing the Glinda birthday party where she made the rainbow. I love the tie-in to the rainbow, over the rainbow, all that stuff. Just, you could feel it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I do like the scene where the tornado and the storm scenes are happening. And you can just get that feeling of what's about to happen.
Yeah.
And then, you know what, my favorite scene that kind of choked me up, dude, was when they close the door and they kind of say their goodbyes, and Glinda's on one side of the door and Elphaba's on the other side of the door. And I'm just like, man, that kind of hit. That was good.
And to me, I think I forgot about that scene, and I think if these 2 actresses get nominated again, it's because of that scene right there.
Yeah, it was a very, very good scene. Very touching.
So.
Star rating for Wicked for Good. I'm gonna give this movie, I forgot what I originally had gave it. I'm gonna go back. I believe I gave the first movie a 4.5. Zach, what about you? Let's say you go first.
I have it on my paper as a 3. I'm gonna bump it up to 3.5 because I think there's still a lot of good in this movie. See what I did there. Like I said, it's not on the same level as the first film. There's still a lot of good things about this film, but I think given a rewatch, 1 or 2 more rewatches, I think it could still be on. It could go to the level of the first film. So I'm going to say at 3.5 as of right now.
Okay, so I went back and saw. I gave Wicked a 4.5. I'm going to give Wicked for Good another 4.5. So I think they're neck and neck. I like one just as much as I like the other. They're both good for multiple different reasons. I just think it's a good epic, and I think this is something that's going to be talked about for years, and like it's going to make a ton of money. They're going to probably put more out. You have Ariana Grande who just hits the high notes whenever she needs to, and Cynthia Erivo just matches her song by song, tone by tone. Back and forth, these actresses reminded me of Deadpool and Wolverine. Whichever one could throw at one, the other one threw back, and they were just match for match, just as good. And I think when you have that kind of acting in a musical, it makes it just better for everybody involved. Cinematography was top notch. The set designs, again, director John Chu. I don't think he gets enough credit for the past 4 years that he put everything into consideration for this one big giant piece of set design and chemistry, building his cast, building his characters. Jeff Goldblum, Michelle Yeoh, just terrific, man. It's all the turkey and stuffing you need. Take the family, forget about Zootopia 2. Take the family and go see Wicked for Good.
Yeah, that's going to be interesting. Zootopia hits theaters tonight. So it'll be interesting to see what the box office numbers is for next week.
Yeah.
I will say, I don't do it all the time, but I like going to see Broadway shows and stuff like that when they come here. There's something very interesting on a production scale where you see Wicked on the Broadway show, the Broadway show, and you're just condensed down to a stage that's basically like this. This is all you have. Well, in a film version, you can break the mold of the stage and just build an entire world. And I think that's what John M. Chu, he set out to do. And regardless of how I feel about the second film, he accomplished it with these 2 films. And so he really, truly made Oz a magical place again. Like I said on the outset. And
it's going to be great to see who wins in a world of 2025 where everything is CGI and rooms can just be made by computer.
Yeah.
What Frankenstein did and what Wicked did for the set design is going to be interesting to see who wins.
Yeah.
Name another movie where the set design is as massive as those 2.
As massive? Well, you'll have to see one battle after another. Even though it's very simple cinematography, the scale of it is very. I don't want to give it away, but the end sequence.
But I'm sure that movie in a lot of sequences is set and filmed on location.
Yeah,
probably not.
But like you said, obviously there is a lot of CGI in both of these films, Frankenstein and Wicked for Good. But when you are on these sets, it's like that. Okay, that's real. Like you can obviously tell that what's real and what's not.
No.
So
we didn't even talk about Coleman Domingo voicing the lion. Mind-boggling.
So I knew that going in, and my coworker saw the credit of Coleman Domingo as the Cowardly Lion. I was like, when did he show up? I was like, yeah, he voiced it for a couple scenes. So
yeah.
Could you imagine him doing a whole movie as the Cowardly Lion?
Universal, I'm also available.
I can't wait to rewatch the original. So,
but Zach, can you believe we have 3 episodes left of this year?
We have 3 episodes left of this year. November is done. It's in the books. We had I think that might be one of our best Novembers we've done.
That was pretty good November.
But we even have a better December. What are we talking about for the month of December?
December 2nd, 9th, and 16th. I can't wait. So December the 2nd, we're talking our Matthew McConaughey top 5 plus 5 Matthew McConaughey episode. It is right around the corner. Our hard year's worth of work is coming to a conclusion in this one episode. Our Matthew McConaughey themed year, our McConaissance is coming to an end. Next Tuesday, December the 2nd, we talk Matthew McConaughey and his top 5 all right films. December the 9th, my God, December the 9th.
Mark your calendars, people.
The Godfather Part 2. Yeah, Zach, what are you most looking forward to about The Godfather Part 2?
Dude, I haven't seen it in years, and so I'm excited on the rewatch. I know it's like 3.5 girthy hours, but I think it's worth it.
And then, Zach, December the 16th, a very unique but distinguished episode. How else could you describe this episode to somebody?
Honestly, it's a profile piece on A Christmas Carol. We're not going to be talking about, like, we may be talking about individual Christmas Carol adaptations, but overall, we're just going to be discussing A Christmas Carol and where it fits on the mantle of Christmas themed movie. Yep.
Perfect. You put it in words that I can't even describe. A Christmas Carol episode. I can't wait. I'm calling it A Christmas Carol Conversation. Tuesday, December the 16th. And then Zach, we're taking 2 weeks off, man. We're going to Mexico. We're taking 2 weeks off and we're spending Christmas in Mexico.
Well, I mean, really for legal reasons, I had to flee the country, but sure, we'll call it that.
It'll be like from dusk till dawn kind of night.
There you go. No vampires though.
Yeah. So December the 23rd and 30th, guys, we will be sharing probably some past episodes that maybe you might have missed throughout the year on Spotify and all the social media pages. But we're taking those 2 weeks off. So we have 3 final big episodes. Zach, each of these 3 episodes could be a massive episode a month, but we're doing them all 3 back to back to back.
Yeah, it's a lot of excitement boxed into 3 more weeks of the show. So I think to rank them, I think your favorite is Godfather Part 2, Godfather Part 2, Godfather Part 2. So I know you're excited.
Not to mention the way we kick off January 6th, Avatar, Fire and Ash. Dude.
And we'll just go ahead and say we're not going to give away our list, but January is already packed. So
packed. Out of the pot.
There you go.
Dude, starting off 2026 with Avatar, it's huge.
It is huge, and I hope it's a lot better than the last one. So
it's massive. I can't wait. It's going to take us 3 weeks to watch Avatar Fire.
It is. What if we just break the movie up into like 10-minute segments throughout the next 2 weeks?
So I think it's going to be fun. I can't wait for January, kicking it off with Avatar Fire and Ash. But next week, man, it has been a fun Matthew McConaughey themed year. I cannot wait to put the final nail in the coffin with Matthew McConaughey next week. What are you most looking forward about next week with this Matthew McConaughey conversation? You already got kind of some notes that you might want to give any kind of hints away, or are you going to save them all for next week?
I'll just say, without giving away my list, I got a little sticky pad of 6 of his films, and I'm just trying to decide who's going to go where. So I'm excited about it.
I am super excited as well. The only thing I have to say about next week's episode, I'm going to give a little taste away, and that's, you know what? We'll see you next week. All right.
Happy Thanksgiving.